Welcome to the sock monkey family, and we're going to learn how to make a sock monkey today. Let me introduce you to a few of them. So this is Stevie Monkey. This is Muchacha. Muchacha's not quite finished yet, he's still got a few pins. This is Monica. You can see Monica's a little bit different. And this is Mikey. So Monica and Mikey are a little bit different, and you can find the pattern how to make them with the tutorial on the Chapter Mats website. So they use two socks to make them. So you have one sock for the body and they use another sock for their arms and their tail. So if you want a little bit more of a challenge, putting a mask on, double-sided filled ears, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, then look at that pattern for that one. But today we are going to make Stevie Monkey. So let's get started. So the first thing you need is a sock. So you're going to turn it inside out, like that, and you're going to lie it flat with the heel at the top. That's the heel, that's the toe. Now feel free to pause this video any time if you need a little bit more time to do it. Okay, so you've got the leg bit here, the toe bit there, and that's the heel bit there. What we're going to do is we're going to cut up the middle to the heel. We're not going to cut through the heel, but we're going to cut up to the heel. And we're going from this side here. Make sure I've got that down the middle. So we're cutting up the leg. And this is going to be the monkey's legs. So a nice sharp pair of scissors. Cut up like that. Okay. So it's really important that it's inside out. So there, already we have the legs of our monkey. What we're going to do now is you're going to sew, hopefully you can see that, this orange thread. So you're going to sew from one side here, curve it round, and then go up here. We're going to leave a gap at the top, and then sew along here and up here. So we are going to leave a gap at the top. Okay, so this is stage 3. So I've sewn all the way up here, I've sewn here, and I've little trimmed the edges just so they're more round like feet. And there is a gap in the middle. That's really important because we're now going to turn the monkey inside out. So this is the wrong side. Turn it through. So I'm just sticking my thumb up right up to the toe, pinching my fingers together, pulling that through. I've got to do the same again for the legs. So this is why it was really important that it was inside out. And there's one leg. There's the other leg. So then it's looking a bit flat, but it's looking a little bit more monkey-like. So now I'm going to take some wooding. So I used a cushion, or you could use a pillow, but I'd washed this cushion and it got a bit lumpy. So I've got some wooding here. That's what's really important, is to fluffinate it. So break it up so it becomes a lot more fluffy. Now your monkey doesn't have to be packed really hard, just enough so that it'll stick up. So once I've fluffinated it, then I'm going to put it into here, up through the little hole on his bum, and I'm going to push it down the legs first, just using my finger to push it a little bit down to the legs. I'm going to do 2 legs, and then I'm going to fill up his body. Okay, so you can see that it's all filled up now. Legs filled up, body filled up. Legs looking a bit wonky, but I think that's going to be quite endearing. And the next thing is to sew up the hole in the middle. Now I've got a blue thread here, a contrasting thread, but you can use the same colour thread if you want to. Doesn't matter how you sew it up. Once I've threaded my needle, I've got a knot on the end. And I'm just going to go over and over. This is called lash stitch. And over, just sewing up the middle so the stuffing doesn't fall out. When I've gone all the way around, I'm just going to secure it with going over a few times. I'll show you what I mean. Oh, I hope this doesn't freak you out, me being left-handed. Just have to flip your video or something. Right, so then I'm going to go over 1, 2 times, and the last time I'm going to put my needle back through the loop. That should make it nice and firm. I cut it up, and there he is. There's my monkey, nice and secure. Next thing to do is to get a separate piece of fabric. I've used some, like an old jumper here, some fleece. So I've got 2 long ones there. Those are going to be his arms. That's going to be the monkey's tummy. I've got 2 ears, like that. Seem to be different sizes. 2 ears. And I'm just going to cut a tail. So I've got 2 arms. I'm going to sew on here. I've got a tummy. I'm going to sew on here, and I've got his ears. I'm going to sew on there. Oh, that bit there, that's for his mouth. That's for his face. So I'm just going to sew those on now. So putting the arms on the monkey, I've looked at my monkey and seen what's about halfway, and then I've gone maybe an inch, maybe 2 centimetres above that. So that's my strip for his arm. And I've got my thread, I've got a knot in the end. So I'm going to put the knot underneath it. And then just do the same slip stitch or lash stitch just to hold it in place. I've gone over it at the end twice. And now just going to go in and out, in and out, in and out. And that should hold the arm in place. Go over the end a couple of times. I've used a pink thread here so it merges in, but you can use a contrasting thread. Gone over twice, let's go over a 3rd time. And remember that trick of going back through the loop. Back through the loop, then I can cut it off. So what I'm also going to do, I'm going to get the hand, I'm going to fold it in half, I'm going to cut a curve at the end, so it's got more of a curved hand. There we go, it's got a curved hand, so that's my 2 arms on there. Next thing, I'm going to get his tummy, and I'm going to sew that about there, just in the same way by going over and over. For my monkey's ears, I'm going to take this sort of D-shaped piece of fabric and I'm going to put my thread in it. I've got a knot in already. Just going to go over, make sure it's secure. And I'm going to do like a gathering stitch. That's in, out, in, out, in, out, all the way to the end. When I get to the end, just going to gather it up. And then I can sew it onto the side of my monkey's head like that. Just using the same stitch. So I don't put them right, they don't go right on the top of the head, they just go at the side. I think I'm going to line mine up with the line of the stitching for the toe. So I'm just going to sew that on there now. It's getting really exciting because our monkey is nearly finished. So you can see I have put his eyes on, I've done a little smiley mouth, and I've put some two nostrils on there as well. So I'm going to turn him over. And I've got my other long strip of pink for his tail. So I'm just going to sew that on there. Now, have you thought about a name for your monkey? I don't know what this one's going to be called yet. All the other ones begin with M. So maybe I'll go with another name. Maybe you can think of a name for me. What can I call this monkey? And what are you going to call your monkey? Right, so that's the tail on. Now we can play around. You could add some eyebrows. You could add some fingers if you want to. You can even do some embroidery. You could add a little tuft of hair. What are you going to do to add to your monkey to give it a bit of character? So there's my monkey. Now let me talk to you about Muchacha. So Muchacha here, I put some fake fur on Muchacha. So he's got some fake fur hair on his head, he's got some dark brown eyebrows, and I also put a little bit of fake fur on his hands, and I've also given him some feet as well. So you can really play around and do whatever you want to your monkey. So I think that my monkey is finished. And I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing your monkeys on the Chapter Maps website.